All right, let's talk about making money online. It's the big question, right? Where do you even begin? Well, today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're laying out a clear map with 10 proven ways to get started, all based on the work of expert Omar Jahama.
And look, if you've ever felt just totally overwhelmed by all the options out there, you are definitely not alone. It's probably the biggest hurdle that stops most people in their tracks. So our goal here is simple: to give you a really clear, structured map so you can finally see your starting point.
But before we dive into all the exciting methods, we got to get one thing straight. This is super important. As Omar Jahama points out, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. No, these are real businesses, and they take real time and real effort. Getting that in your head right from the very start, that's your actual first step to success.
So to make all this a lot easier to digest, we've organized everything into three main pathways. We've got selling products, monetizing your own content, and providing services. We're going to walk through each one, and then, and this is the most important part, we'll help you figure out which path feels right for you.
Okay, let's dive right in. First up, pathway number 1, which is all about selling physical products online. We're talking about the world of e-commerce. And honestly, it has never been easier to get started. One of the most popular ways to get your foot in the door here is something called drop shipping. The whole idea is actually pretty brilliant. You're basically a digital storefront. You do the fun part, the marketing, making the sale, but you never actually have to hold or ship the product yourself. That means no inventory, no packing boxes, none of those headaches. So how does that even work? Well, it's simple. A customer places an order on your website. Then you take their money and buy that exact product from your supplier. And the supplier, they ship it directly to your customer. The magic here, and this is a game changer, is that you don't spend a single dime on the product until you've already made the sale.
So you're probably asking, where's the money? It's all in that price difference. The source gives a great example. Let's say you find a product for like $4 on a site like AliExpress. You list it on your store for $19. Someone buys it and bam, that $15 difference, that's your gross profit.
Now, dropshipping is an awesome starting point, for sure, but it's not the only game in town. You could go with Amazon FBA. That's where you send your products to Amazon, and they handle, well, pretty much everything. The storage, the packing, the shipping. Or if you're the creative type, there's print on demand. You just upload designs, and a company will print them on t-shirts or mugs and ship them out only when you get an order. And then, of course, there's the traditional route, building your own brand from the ground up and really creating something that's all yours.
All right, let's switch gears. We're moving on to our second pathway. This one isn't about physical products. It's about monetizing what's in your head, your knowledge, your creativity. This is the heart of what people call the creator economy.
You know, a classic way to do this, one that still works incredibly well, is blogging. The formula is pretty simple, right? You pick something you love talking about, you create helpful stuff that people want to read, and once you have an audience, you can put ads on your site using something like Google AdSense to earn money.
And don't think this is just pocket change. The potential is really there. Google's own calculator estimates that a blog in a big niche, say beauty and fitness, pulling in about 200,000 visits a month, could make around $16,000 a year, just from ads. It just goes to show, when you build a real audience, that traffic can turn into real income.
But hey, content is way more than just writing. You could start a YouTube channel, and what's super interesting is that the source author said this was his most profitable thing he ever did. Or you could take what you know and package it up into an online course. Seriously, if you have a skill, whether it's coding, playing guitar, or baking bread, you can sell that knowledge to people who are hungry to learn.
Okay, on to our third and final pathway, providing services. And you can think about this in two main ways. You can either sell your own skills directly, or you can act as a kind of digital middleman, connecting people who need a service with the people who can do it.
Affiliate marketing is the perfect example of being that middleman. Think of yourself as a trusted recommender. You find products or services you actually like and use. You tell your audience about them, and if they buy through your special link, you get a cut. It's basically earning a commission for a good recommendation.
And the best affiliate marketers, they don't just plaster links everywhere. No, it's all about giving value first. Just like this example, you might write a really in-depth review of the best tents for camping. Someone reads it, finds it super helpful, clicks your link, and buys a tent. You get a commission because you genuinely help them make a better choice.
Okay, now this next one is really cool. It's called drop servicing. And if you understood drop shipping, you're going to get this immediately. It's the exact same idea, but for services instead of products. So you sell a service, like web design, to a client.
Then you turn around and hire a freelancer to do the actual work. You manage the project, and you pocket the difference in price.
And finally, of course, the most direct path of all, just selling your own skills. Web design is a fantastic example. The source makes a great point that with all the modern tools out there, it's gotten so much easier to create professional-looking sites. And freelancers can easily charge, $400 or $500, even more, for a pretty basic site.
All right, so we've laid out the map. We've got the three main territories: selling products, creating content, and providing services. Now comes the big question, the most important part, really. Which path is the right one for you?
This chart kind of sums it all up nicely. So just take a second and think about what makes you tick. Does the idea of creating a brand, picking out products, and doing all the retail stuff get you excited? Then Pathway 1 is probably your jam. Or are you more of an expert, a teacher, someone who loves sharing what they know and building a following? Then you should really look at Pathway 2. And if you're a connector, a marketer, or someone with a specific skill you can sell, Pathway 3 is calling your name.
Because at the end of the day, the best path isn't on some list. It's found where your own passions and your skills meet. There's no single right answer, just the one that's right for you. So it all comes down to this: your passion, your skills, your business. Which path will you explore first?